Grace.
Okay.
Isabel and Grace.
Okay.
Isabel was the last year New American Girl doll, so
was...
2 years I got to the New American Girl doll.
Wow.
I got Grace on my birthday, as you probably know because you got it for me.
Yes, I do.
And you guys went on a trip to Chicago, and you got it for me there.
Yep.
And I said, Mom and Dad, can you get me anything? Because it was almost my birthday. When you went to Chicago, it was almost my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And you got it for me, and I went downstairs, and I was like, what is in this bag? And I didn't peek in it because I knew it was probably going to be my birthday present. And then I saw it. So I came home from school pretty early because they came, hot dog. And you and Mom, you came to my school to give us cupcakes because I was having a frozen birthday party. And my friend Kyla, she was probably going to make the bakery with me. She gave me a frozen pack. And it was really cute. She gave me goggles. She gave me a beach ball. She gave me this candy, and she gave me a toys.
That was sweet.
A toys or a card, which I pretty much already spent. I think it might be expired, but I'm not sure. And it was really nice. When I went home early, my teacher let me go home early because it was my birthday. And then when I came home, I saw an American Girl. I saw a bag on the table, and I was like, Mom, Dad, is this for me? And they were like, yeah, open it up. And I saw brown hair and a cute little box that looked exactly like the one where I got Isabel.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Isabel right where I am right now.
Okay.
And in the living room, and I was like, this has to be a American Girl doll, like a new one.
And
then I pulled it out, and I was like, "It's Grace!
Yep.
It's Grace!"
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop saying thank you to you guys because it was so. I wanted it so bad.
You were so you had told us that you wanted the New American Girl doll for months.
Mm-hmm.
Like we knew how badly you wanted to get it. Now my next question kind of ties in with that because if you would have the money, you could just go buy it yourself, and I'm sure you would have. My next question is, if you had all the money in the world, what would you buy? Like, what's the one thing, the first thing you would buy if it didn't matter?
I would first buy.
I just want the one thing. If you can buy one thing in the world, regardless of price.
Which this question is like, I don't have anybody that about this answer. If I had like somebody that I know is poor. Which I don't. I would probably get them something.
Oh,
like get them like
sweet.
a T-shirt or a toy or something.
That's sweet.
And I would just say, hey, would you like this? And they would be like, yeah. But I would probably mostly give them water.
Oh, that's a good
or
idea.
Food
or something to eat.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
And I might get them like a toy or like something. I could buy like all the things in the store. I would buy like every single... I would even buy a house for them.
So you're telling me that if you're given the opportunity to buy yourself one thing and one thing only, you would buy a grocery store and give it away to people?
I wouldn't buy the whole thing, but I would give them a house first.
Okay.
First of all, I would give them a house.
You would buy somebody
I would
a
give
house.
them furniture. I would give them everything that they needed for a pretty house, a nice house.
That is certainly
and then
awesome
I would get them
to
stuff.
hear.
I would get them stuff for their house to be healthy. I would give them like a comb, spray, beautiful stuff, beds. I would get them everything. I would let them live with me. If my mom said.
What an amazing thing for a father to hear his daughter say when asked if you could have one thing. Okay, honey.
I would give him anything.
That's fantastic. Well, listen, we're going to have to take a commercial break, and I'm going to have to let Katina and Hot Dog go, but it was very nice having you on the show. I'm glad that everybody got to meet you because, ladies and gentlemen, this little girl is the most important girl in my life, and as you can obviously see, she has a lot to say, so I'd love to have you back on the show soon, okay? Mm-hmm. And then I'll have more questions, and we can talk One Direction and Spice Girls and all that. Okay? Mm-hmm. Well, thank you guys for listening to the Bill and Joe Show. We will take a break, and we will be right back after this.
You're listening to the Bill and Joe Show. Hey, Pat, what are you doing? You don't like to read.
Oh, Gary, quit pretending like we don't do research for the 80/20 Movie Show, presented by FatherhoodRules.com, and hosted by myself, Pat Himes, and you, Gary Smith.
Listen, if you're actually reading and doing research, then the show itself is starting to get a little crazy. Usually the only preparation we do is buy some alcohol, enter the Mountain Thunder studio, and hit record.
Gary, well, some of that is true. Especially the part where you drink a ton of booze. Maybe you should tell the people what our show's about.
Sure, my fellow MBA friend. It's based on the 80/20 principle, but we are applying it to films using Rotten Tomato scores. We only review films that score 80 and above, and also we'll review films that score 20 and below.
Gosh, Gary, you're smart and handsome, just like me. I'm thinking it would be a great idea to let the masses know where to find our show.
FatherhoodRules.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and many more podcasting platforms.
And how to contact the show?
I'm at Fatherhood Rules on Twitter.
And I'm at the Red Shenrock on Twitter.
Don't forget, Pat, they can always email us at feedback@fatherhoodrules.com.
And don't forget, the 80/20 Movie Show is presented by FatherhoodRules.com.
Dramatic music lovers, I want you to go to SoundCloud.com. I want you to look up Lunaris, Lunaris music, or you can look up A Glimpse into Elsewhere. This guy, he does like music that is very dramatic and very, I would say, ether inspired. Like it sounds like a very dramatic point of a movie, but in fact, Lunaris, an adept alchemist and magician, telling the secrets of the ether and providing a journey within every song. And when I say journey, or when he says journey, he's not lying. You can actually feel the song like swell, like any music, and I know we have a lot of them, but like the crescendos in these pieces are amazing. So make sure you go to SoundCloud and you search for Lunaris Music, Lunaris Music, or you could search A Glimpse into Elsewhere.
You're listening to the Bill and Joe Show.
And welcome back to the Bill and Joe Show. I wanted to thank my guests again, Katrina and Hot Dog. For those of you that couldn't put that together, those were my me and Danielle's kids. I let them come up with their own names. Now, of course, you know, Katrina came up with her name because she's playing that character in Street Fighter. And I don't know how Hot Dog came up with it, but I asked him what his name was, and he said Hot Dog. So we went with it. But I just got it, just real quick, and I'm not trying to brag. Yeah, I am, but I don't know of another 7-year-old where if you ask them if they could have anything that they want, that they would say anything remotely close to giving it to somebody else, let alone a house. I bet if you pulled 100 7-year-olds, I'm not sure you would find another one. I am incredibly proud of my daughter right now. She has just got such a big heart and just an amazing little woman that I get to spend the rest of my life worrying about and losing sleep over. It's great. Anyway, moving on. We've got this a new company. They're called Rundum Fun Games, and they're coming out here pretty soon. They've got this game called No, and it's asking a whole bunch of questions, and you pick which one out of 3, and then at the end of it, you kind of get like a score, like if you took a test. Now, I've seen the prototype of this game, and some of them you should definitely know. And the funny thing is that I've asked friends those questions, and they don't. So it's kind of a fun game that you can kind of play at a party or whatever. And then they got this other game that they got coming right behind it. It's called This or That. It's kind of a would you rather sort of thing. And they asked us to talk about them on the show today. And I thought, what better way to introduce Rundum Fun Games and their games No and This or That with, well, send me some This or That's if you want. We've played that game before on the show. It's just me this week, so that'll definitely help me out. So they said sure, and they sent me over some. So here is sponsored by Rundum Fun Games. This is This or That. A wooden splinter or a metal splinter. As long as it's not glass. I don't like glass. There was a time I was working for like a window company, and you just clean the insides and outsides of the window. And we were in this laboratory, and there were like scientists standing around. And we had to be very careful of all the lab equipment and everything. It was like an agriculture, like a United States agriculture building. And I'm just cleaning the inside of the window, and our boss always insisted that, we take our rag and we sweep all the dead flies out of the bottom of the windowsill. So I'm doing that. There's a shard of glass in the far corner, and I just shove it right into the tip of my thumb. And it was so clean that I barely felt it. But when I looked at it, I could see the cut. and I could feel it. Like if I pressed my finger against it, it would hurt. So I immediately, like, I thought I was in Outbreak, and Dustin Hoffman was there, and Morgan Freeman was about to come running in. I wish Rene Russo would have, but I was like, oh my God, what the hell? Help me. And they're like, no, it's not a problem. Yeah, you can go ahead and take the rest of the day off. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell? I dealt with that shard of glass in the tip of my thumb, and if you clean windows, you use the tips of your thumbs a lot, and every time I would press it, and I had a kid, anytime you'd press at the tip of your thumb, it would send this piercing pain just right down your arm to about the middle of your forearm. It sucked. Until finally one day, you're paired up every day with another guy. Until finally one day, we were on our way to go clean the windows of a local minor league baseball team, and my partner just got tired of me bitching about it and handed me a knife. He said, cut your fucking finger open and get the glass out of there. So I did. It was the most manliest thing I think I've ever done. I literally, in a truck that's bouncing down the road, like took his little switchblade and cut my finger open and pressed the glass out of my finger. But I got to be honest, it felt amazing. When that piece of glass got out of my finger, it was like my whole body. It was awesome. Awesome. So as long as it's not glass, but if I got to go metal or wooden, I'm going to go wooden. They seem to slide out easier, I would think, although I've never had a metal splinter. But Joe has gotten a metal shaving in his lower like eyelid, like in his eye, and it ended up like scraping against his eyeball. This is way too gross. Would you this or that? Bump your head or bump your funny bone? Bump my head. I got a big head. I can handle the abuse to that, and nothing's worse than a funny bone. If it would have been Funny Bone or Charlie Horse, I would have gone Funny Bone, because Charlie Horse is just, they're terrible. This or that, wine or beer? Sorry, excuse me. Forgot to turn my phone. Here we go. Wine or beer? I'm definitely a beer guy. Wine has got, it needs to be a specific instance, and I have to have absolutely nothing to do the next day, because you can't switch from wine to beer, and you can't go from beer to wine. So if I'm just drinking wine and we're having a good time, then I know I'll have a good time, and nothing beats a wine drunk. I love a wine drunk. Don't get me wrong. The problem with wine is that you wake up the next morning, and no matter how many tacos you eat from Taco Bell or how many times you brush your teeth, you can still taste that. And maybe that's because I'm a Merlot fan, and maybe it's just really thick, but it just oozes out of my gums all day long, and it just makes me just want to throw up. So yeah, I would definitely go beer. This or that, celibacy or numerous STDs? What the fuck kind of question? Wow. I hate saying this, but I got to go celibacy. I really do. I would not be able to. I would not be able to go throughout my adult career. I sounded like a porn star. I would not be able to go throughout the rest of my life having to apply stuff and, have to warn people like, all right, I know that we're both really attracted to each other, but there's something that you need to know. I've got this, this, and this. That cool? No. I'll stick to taking cold showers and watching internet. I'll stay with celibacy. This or that, breakfast for lunch or breakfast for dinner? Definitely dinner. Breakfast and lunch still kind of feels like breakfast. It's just a little bit past it. Like if you have it for lunch, like football just started, so that's technically breakfast. Which football just started today, and I joined FanDuel today. I put in $25. They matched it. They're not a sponsor of the show, but very interesting. I picked my team. I'm doing really good. I'm in the top like 15% of my league. I'm not making any money yet, but I still got 2 games tonight with 2 players that are supposed to kill it tonight. So who knows? I don't know how many I'm going to win, but it's like a $1 lead. So if I lose, I don't really care. It's $1. This or that, cake or brownies? Definitely going brownie. It has been a long time since I've liked cake. You know what? You're going to have to break my arm for me to even eat a brownie, because I don't even like brownies. I don't like candy. I don't like sweets. I don't know what's wrong with me. When I was a kid, I used to kill them, but like the older I got, I don't know. I never took to them. Everybody thinks I'm weird. Like, do you want some birthday cake? No, I'm fine. What? You want some ice cream? No.